Hi everyone, it's Be So Creative here, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 DIY room decor. These are perfect for spring or even just all year round. Hope you enjoy the video, and let's get started. The first DIY is this butterfly wall art. The first thing that you will be needing is some paint chips, and you can get these at like Walmart or any hardware store, and they are free, which is the best thing about this DIY. And make sure you get a variety of colors because I think that looks the best. Then you'll be needing a butterfly stencil or a butterfly hole punch. And lastly, some scissors. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my different paint chips, and I'm going to start off with red, and I'm just going to go ahead and stack them all together, make sure they're aligned, and take a binder clip and clip it on there so they won't move while I'm tracing around it. And I'm just going to take my butterfly stencil with a glue dot in the back of it, and I'm just going to cut it out. You can either trace it and then cut it. I just went ahead and cut it because that was faster and easier for me. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is for this DIY. After I cut the butterflies out, not all of them look the same, so I went ahead and cut in the edges or any other areas that did not look quite right as the stencil. So after all of them were cut out, I went ahead and threw them in the air to see if they would fly, and they didn't, so we're going to make them fly. So what you want to do is go ahead and take a butterfly and fold it in half. That's all you got to do, and I love how it makes it look 3D and like if it's flying on your wall. And lastly, I'm just going to take a butterfly and take one of these glue dots that you can find at Michael's, and I'm just going to stick it on the back of the butterfly. And lastly, you can put them on your wall any way you want. I went ahead and did them kind of like in a rainbow order, and I love how this looks, and it adds a lot of color to my wall. The next DIY is this DIY confetti jar. For this, you'll be needing paint chips again, and as I said, you can get these at the hardware store, or if you don't have paint chips, you can also use colored paper or scrapbook paper. You will also be needing a hole punch, any type of jar. I am using a candle jar, some Mod Podge, and lastly, a paintbrush. So what I noticed after I did this DIY is I had some room left in the paint chips to do something else, so I went ahead and took a hole punch and made a whole bunch of holes in each paint chip. After I cut out a whole bunch of holes, I went ahead and took some Mod Podge, and I just put that on a napkin, and I took this glass jar and a paintbrush, and I Mod Podged the whole entire jar. Once the whole entire jar was full of Mod Podge, I just took my holes and I went ahead and just put them onto the jar, and I love how this looks. It kind of looks like confetti, and I love the different colors that it gives, and the Mod Podge will dry clear, which I think looks really cool, and some of them were backwards, so I went ahead and fixed those because you don't want the Walmart logo showing. And yeah, I just really like how this looks, and it's an awesome DIY to reuse paint chips. So this is how the jar looks like finished after 2 coats of Mod Podge and the confetti. I think it is super colorful and perfect for spring. And the last DIY is this spring canvas. So the materials that you are going to be needing is a canvas, and I'm using a 5x7 canvas. Some paint, and I'm using some yellow and green gloss paint. Some spun brushes and paint brushes, and lastly some of these stencil letters. You can either make your own or buy some from the craft store. So let's get started. So starting off, I'm just going to be taking these glue dots. You can also use masking tape or just any kind of tape in general, and I'm just going to be taking them and sticking them in the back of the letter so I can stick them onto the canvas. Glue dots just work easier for me, but you can use anything you would like to. after you have attached all your letters onto your canvas, and now you just want to go ahead and paint over the letters. And it's okay if you get it on top of the letters because we're going to take them off later, and I'm just going to use yellow because I figured that would look really bright and fun for spring. And I did rearrange them differently than the last clip because I figured that this would look better, like if they're growing actually. And yeah. Now you want to let it to dry for about 15 minutes. Once it was dry, I went ahead and peeled off the letters, and this was not easy, not gonna lie, but the letters are supposed to come like nice white letters, but they didn't come out like that. So what I went ahead and did is let that to dry again and just went over that with white paint, and you can do the same too, and it looks like you didn't even paint over it. Once I was done with the letters, I went ahead and took this daisy that I got at Walmart, and it was like 50 cents. And this is optional, but I thought it would look really cute. And I went ahead and just kind of put it in the corner. You can put it anywhere you want. I just figured that the corner would look really nice, and I just went ahead and hot glued that with my hot glue gun. Then when I was done, I went ahead and I took some green paint, and I just took a thin paintbrush, and I just kind of made like a stem underneath the letters to make it look like it's growing. And I think this is really cute, and I love how the word goes with spring. You can also use spring or sun or anything you would like to. I just figured that like the word grow would be nice because like the flowers grow in spring. And yeah, that is it for this DIY spring canvas. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Hope you have a great spring break and an awesome rest of the day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!